Brandon Moore and his wife had gone to the police, but the waiting game was eating away at this father. So he hatched an elaborate plan to catch his so-called friend in the act.
Maddie Moore is the victim of a pedophile. Her parents' best friend, Sean Foster.
The second time I was alone with him, he grabbed my butt.
The 400-pound pervert began fondling her when she was only 9, even walking in on her as she took a shower.
That was just terrifying. What is he gonna do to me? My siblings are in the other room. I don't want to scream because I don't want to scare them.
Maddie, what were you afraid of?
I was afraid of him raping me because I was completely naked, and it would have been easier than if I was fully clothed.
And she says that wasn't the first time. When Maddie's mom, Leone, found out, all kinds of dark thoughts raced through her mind.
I'm thinking, give me 10 minutes in a room with that man, strap him down and let me do some things to him that are very painful.
Maddie's dad, Brandon, thought it was simpler just to kill him.
I was just gonna put my shotgun right here and just pull the trigger. I was imagining, man, you're gonna have bits of head everywhere. You're gonna have brains and it's gonna be bloody and we're gonna have to move, but it's worth it.
So what kept you from doing that?
I thought, okay, that'll make a big mess and I don't want my girls to deal with that.
Or deal with the loss of their father. Brandon would surely go to prison for murder, so this former Marine with a PhD instead formulated a brilliant plan. Set a trap, catch the perv red-handed, and hand him over to the cops. The predator would become prey.
So I told Leone, I said, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna text from Maddie's phone.
Since Maddie worked part-time for Foster's pool construction business, she texts him regularly. Brandon texts using the language of a 14-year-old girl.
I guess I can work today. Let me take a shower and I'll be out in 15 minutes.
Brandon says Foster knew they always kept the back door unlocked.
I'm gonna lock the front door, turn on the shower and the light in the bathroom and bedroom and shut both doors. And as soon as Sean comes in the back door, you call the police and I'll keep him here.
Leone watches from a couple of doors down. Brandon hides his weapons so he won't be tempted.
I went and put the shotgun and the knife in the garage and I thought, I'm just gonna deal with him with my hands.
You put the weapons in the garage to keep you from reaching for them?
I was perfectly willing to murder him and then take the risk until Leone said, you're the main provider, the kids need their dad.
With Mom in position as a lookout and Dad hiding in the house, the trap was set.
The tension is thick as the humid Texas air. Will Foster actually take the bait? Yes, he does.
As soon as I see him walk through our back gate and open the back door, I dial 911. I say, there's a man in my house that does not belong in my house. Last night, we turned him in as a child molester, and he's in my home. I said, I just watched him walk in the back door. And I said, and to be honest with you, my husband's in there, and he's going to get beaten up. And she goes, have you trapped him? I said, I guess you could call it that.
Brandon sets his phone to record the confrontation. Listen closely. You can hear Foster rip open the shower curtain so hard, the rings fly off the rod.
Hey, what the are you doing? What are you doing? I haven't done anything to her. You don't touch a 14-year-old girl.
Brandon doesn't wait for the cops. Filled with rage, he pummels the pedophile.
I don't know you. Stay down. I'm down. Stay. I'm down. Don't hit me anymore.
I jumped up on his back and I choked him until he went down in this corner. And that's when I had lost all composure.
Don't move until the cops get here and save you from me. Oh my God, you broke my glasses. You're trespassing in my house. Get down. I'm not gonna get down. didn't touch you.
You're not moving.
I have to move. I have to go.
No, you're staying here until the cops get here. You're through. I kicked him a couple of times, and then he rolled on his side, and I started kicking him in the hernia and the stomach. I almost lost it completely, and I choked him until he slammed into the front door and into the wall. And as soon as he was down, I just started kneeing him in the face. And then I see 2 police officers standing outside the front door. I was like, okay, I can't kill him in front of the police.
Foster is in cuffs, charged with multiple counts, including burglary, intent to commit indecency with a child, and indecency with a child by contact. Bail was set high, $500,000.
Daily, we would check the McLennan County Jail roster, and it was so nice to see his name on there. And the day that we woke up and checked it and it wasn't on there, it was like, oh, we have to go tell Maddie he's not locked up. And he's out.
Foster makes bail and rejects a plea deal that would have given him 20 years in prison. He decides to take his chance with a jury. Thoughts of murder and revenge filled Brandon's mind once again.
It's taking too long. I'm going to go kill him.
Finally, Foster gets his day in court, taking the stand in his defense, denying the allegations. Prosecutors Hillary Laborde and Evan O'Donnell tore into him.
How important was that audio tape?
I think the audio tape was very important because it took the jury to the offense. It's very rare that you have an eyewitness to child sexual abuse. She wasn't being abused that day. It was certainly an attempt by Sean Foster to see her in the shower.
But the most powerful moment, Maddie bravely testifies against the man who she says abused her for nearly a third of her life.
Were you scared when you took the stand?
I was more annoyed than anything, to be honest. I got up there and I was really nervous. It was really hard seeing him, but I told myself, you're not gonna cry. Sean liked to make me cry. He thought it was funny. He wouldn't look at me. And I said, you won't look at me now because you know you're guilty. And I was like, we both know you did this.
What did Foster say was his defense?
It really wasn't much of one. You know her almost as well as her parents do. So tell us why she would make this up about you. And he just had no explanation.
The jury agreed.
My 6 favorite words: guilty, 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 and then guilty.
Foster was sentenced to 55 years in prison.
I don't think he'll survive 5. I really hope the other prisoners find out what he's there for, and they do the things that prisoners do to child molesters.
Maddie, do you feel you've gotten justice?
I do. Honestly, though, I do wish that they gave like the death sentence or stuff like this or life, but they don't. And so he got a lot longer than I was expecting.
Brandon didn't face any charges for beating the pedophile to a pulp. Sweet justice for a sweet girl, forever grateful her ex-Marine dad rescued her from the clutches of a creep.
Now I know he's in prison and my dad beat you up, so it works out.
Right now, I want to bring in attorney Jenny Hutt to talk about this fine line. As parents, we get it. I've caught my fair share of predators. But what are the legal ramifications of taking the law into your own hands here?
Right, so Chris, legally, you cannot harm another person unless you are in imminent danger of bodily harm or a person right by you is in imminent danger of bodily harm. So in this case, had this father impulsively hurt the perpetrator, he could have been held criminally liable. And that would have made things a lot tougher for him ultimately.
So he could have been prosecuted,
yes,
and potentially the molester could have gone scot-free.
Well, I'm not sure that the alleged molester could have gone scot-free with this level of evidence that was accumulated, but it certainly would have gotten Brandon in trouble. Then he could have been brought up on charges by the state.
And just to be clear, we're not advocating anybody become a vigilante here. Jenny Hutt, thank you so much for being with us.
Thank
I appreciate
you.
it.